Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Divan, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, homage to our teacher, Lukuswami Nuhansi, who teaches us the Gautama Supreme Buddha's Dhamma. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. අවසරයි සන්නස නම බුද්ධාය.
Namo.
Darling, Pantes.
Does everybody know Rona Gittibant?
My son.
Are you grateful to Rona Gittibant and thankful to him?
My son.
Yes, Bante.
When Bantes were not here, he was teaching the Dhamma for many months. Right?
Yes, we miss Bante for a few months now. Welcome back, Bante.
So today you learned the deep Dhamma in the morning session.
My son.
What do you think about the wisdom of the Buddha when you learn that very deep Dhamma? Aren't you amazed?
My son.
Without the help of the Buddha's knowledge, can you think about those things by yourself?
No, son.
Impossible, right, for the ordinary people to think the life in that manner.
So what did they learn, Sansa?
What did you learn? Huh?
Nibbedika Sutta, Bante, penetrative. Penetrative.
Nibbedika Sutta is very long.
It
They
is.
are powerful sutta. They are very lucky. They are very lucky to learn this deep Dhamma, right?
Nibbedika Sutta.
Yeah.
Very interesting and very there's a lot of
Insightful.
topics covered.
Yeah, very insightful Dhamma. Directly leading to the stages of enlightenment.
Yeah, my son.
Okay, so first, I think we can learn about the life, one of the lives of an enlightened nuns, and we can see how she won the life, how she escaped from the ordinary status of life and achieved the noble status. Do you like to read about her life?
My son.
Okay. Just, now I am going to give you the opportunity to read first, and then we can discuss some Dhamma. Who is going to read first?
Sure, so I can read first.
Okay, you can start.
When this Gautama Buddha arose, she was conceived in a good family home in Savatthi.
Who is she?
The nun Sona.
Yes, Arahant Sona.
Later, she was established in the household life and had many sons and daughters, and she set them all up individually in the household life. From thence onwards, thinking, what can she do for us? When she came into their presence, they did not even designate her as mother. And many children, Sona, understanding their lack of respect towards herself, thinking, what will I do dwelling in a house, renounced and went forth. Then the nuns
what is the meaning of renounced and went forth?
she ordained in the Buddha Sasana.
Yeah, she became a nun.
Then the nuns, thinking she does not know the minor duties, she behaves improperly, gave her punishment.
Mhm.
Her sons and daughters saw her being punished, and thinking, till this very day she does not know the training rules. And they ridiculed her on the spot wherever she was seen.
Okay, sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in your reading. Who is going to read next? Mhm.
Having heard their words, the spiritual anxiety
Anxiety.
around surrounded, thinking it is fitting to make a course of perfection for myself.
Purification.
Irritation. She rehearsed in 32-fold nature in whatever place she was sitting and whatever place she was standing.
You can continue.
There are in this body hair of the head, body hairs, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, pulpura, spleen, lungs, intestine,
Mesentery.
Digestant, food, extreme, bill, pilgrim, pulse, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grace, split, muscles,
Mucus.
Inuit, fluid, ignorant,
urine,
and just as formed she had been knowing many children,
sona,
so she became well known as elder nun, energetic Sona.
sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in your reading. Who is going to read next? Penila?
Me, Bante? Okay. Then one day, as the nuns were going to the monks' monastery, after saying, heat some water for the community of nuns, Sona, they departed. Before the water was heated in the firehouse, while reciting the 32-fold nature, as she was walking in meditation, she developed insight. The teacher, while sitting in the fragrant cottage, appeared to her and recited this illustrious verse. The one who lives for 100 years, not seeing the supreme Dhamma, is surpassed by one living for one day, only who sees the supreme Dhamma.
Sadhu, sadhu. Rejoice in your reading. Who is going to continue?
Sanse,
Anuka?
I can read.
Anuka? You can continue.
She attained liberation at the conclusion of the verse, and thought, I have attained liberation. But when they return, without considering, they will speak dispraise of me, and will accumulate much demerit. Therefore, it is fitting to do something as a sign. She placed the water pot over the fireplace, but she didn't make the fire underneath. After the nuns returned, seeing the fireplace but not seeing a fire, they said, "We told this old lady, heat the water for the community of nuns, but today she did not make the fire in the fireplace." "Noble ladies, why do you need fire? If you like to bathe with hot water, take water from the pot and bathe." They, thinking there will be a reason here, went and put their hand into the water, and understanding it was heated, brought a water pot and took the water. As they took it from it in that place, it refilled. Then they all understood she was established in liberation, and those who were junior fell at her feet in the fivefold prostration, saying, "Noble lady, for so long we disregarded you, injured, and spoke injuriously. Please forgive us." And then they asked for forgiveness. The seniors, having squatted down, said, "Noble lady, forgive us," and asked for forgiveness.
Sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in your reading. Anuka?
Swamin Mahansa, can I read it?
Amrish?
From then on, though she had gone forth in old age, they said, "She has been established in the highest fruit." In no long time they taught through being energetic, and the virtue of the elder nun became well known. Later, after the teacher had sat down in Jeta's wood, as he was assigning the places of the nuns in order, he placed the elder nun, Sona, in the foremost position amongst those who were energetic.
Sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in your reading, Sandesh. So now we are going to learn more about that story. Okay.
Yeah, my Sansa.
Have you learned that story before? Has anybody? No?
No, Sansa.
I have
First
heard
time, eh? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's good.
In the city of Sawati, there was a housewife who had 10 children. After giving birth to each child, she spent her days nursing, raising, educating, and eventually arranging marriages for them. Her children were her whole life, and she was known as Sona with many children. Sona's husband was a lay disciple of the Buddha. After practicing as a layperson for many years, he decided he wanted to ordain before he died. It was not easy for Sona to accept this. However, instead of spending her time in sorrow, she decided to pursue a more religiously dedicated life. She called all 10 of her children to bring their spouses and children, and turned over her considerable wealth to them. She did so with the condition that they support her basic needs. For a while, everything was fine. She spent her time deepening her practice and participating in religious activities. But soon, the old woman came to be seen as a burden to her children. When they needed her money, they felt happy to take care of her. But now that the money was theirs, they forgot where it came from and became annoyed by their mother's religious practice. They could not understand why their parents had not indulged in the pleasures that their wealth could provide. Sona's children's increasing disdain was a source of great pain for her. She felt bitter as her mind played and replayed her children's various accusations and reproaches. Through contemplation and introspection, she realized that she had always seen her children as an investment and as insurance against loneliness in her old age. She expected that they would appreciate all of her hard work, love, and care, and return the favor by caring for her later in life. She realized that she was setting expectations that weren't met. So she was the real cause of her suffering, not her children. These realizations led her to enter the order of Bhikkhunis, or the order of nuns. She sought to develop the qualities of true selfless love and virtue. Sona was disillusioned with home life and saw ordained life as a bright and happy path she could follow. However, when she ordained, she unwittingly brought her old personality with her. She wanted to do things her way. She wanted to rest when she was tired, and she only wanted to do things that she found pleasing. However, the ordained life is not a life of freedom. There are many rules and practices that need to be followed in order to train oneself. Sona was criticized by many of the more senior Bhikkhunis for doing things slowly or in the wrong way. This was especially hard for her to accept, since she was old but considered a new nun. Other nuns were her senior, or more practiced in the Dhamma, and were often much younger than her. Being so old, Sona was strongly set in her ways. However, she realized that she had nowhere else to go, so instead of feeling sorry for herself, she focused her energy on trying to attain liberation through the Dhamma. She realized that her limitations were a great burden and a weakness. They prevented her from progressing in her practice of the Dhamma. Sona realized that her time was running out, and she had to make great effort to overcome many years of defending her weak qualities. She decided to develop her virtues of energy and wisdom. It became clear to her that she had to be courageous in overcoming her old personality. She practiced diligently and contemplated all the suffering that her traits had led her to in life. She realized the downside of maintaining those traits, so she trained her mind to focus on the upside of training her energy and determination. She even practiced during the nights when all the other Bhikkhunis were resting. She would reach out to feel the pillars in the dark so she wouldn't run into them while doing her walking contemplations. On one particular day, the Bhikkhunis were leaving to go to an engagement. A senior nun reminded Sona to make sure that the water was boiled when they returned. Sona rushed to fill the cauldron with water and set it on fire. As the water was boiling, Sona resumed her other duties, replacing old flowers, candles, and incense with new ones. As often as she could, Sona used various objects as subjects for her contemplation. She did this so often that it became second nature for her. So as she was changing out the flowers, candles, and incense, she didn't even have to tell herself to contemplate what was in front of her. It happened naturally, because her mind had been trained to search for impermanence, suffering, and lack of control. She automatically applied these powerful Dhamma concepts. While working, her mind was focused, and she began to contemplate the truth of the flowers. All things will grow old, wither, and die. Then new things that are young and fresh will take their place, and those too will eventually grow old and die. This is a never-ending cycle, and anyone who wishes to prevent this from happening will experience suffering. She then asked herself, "What about me? Am I different from these flowers or candles?" The old dying flowers, the burnt-out candles, and the incense represented her old body. Could time be reversed? Could she return to a younger, stronger version of herself? She couldn't. Her aging was inevitable, and so was her death. All things were subject to change, deterioration, and eventually death. Should she continue to remain foolish and feel possessive of this dying body? Or should she release her hopes of resisting nature's course? When questioned, her mind responded by releasing all attachments, which resulted in her complete enlightenment as an arahant. Sona felt bliss and a sense of freedom she didn't know existed in this world. She stood there, basking in the new awareness and awakening. After all these lives and rebirths, she was free. While she was contemplating, the fire had gone out. Just then, the nuns returned, and the bhikkhuni who asked Sona to heat the water saw her standing there and smiling, and assumed she was being lazy again. The younger yet senior bhikkhuni scolded Sona for failing to complete this simple task in a timely manner. Sona, now free from attachments, realized that she also had supernatural abilities, and with the mere focus of her mind, caused the fire to light and the cold water to be instantly heated. The young bhikkhuni wouldn't have believed it had she not seen it with her own 2 eyes. The nuns immediately brought her to the Buddha, who confirmed that Sona was now an arahant. All of Sona's sister bhikkhunis had previously believed that Sona was a hopeless case, and that she was too old and stuck in her ways to have a chance to achieve anything. They had been her most severe critics, but now they sincerely apologized and endeavored to follow her good example. The Buddha praised Sona for being one who was foremost in exerting energetic effort.
What do you think the moral of this?
You like it?
Yes, Sona.
Yes,
Yeah,
Bante, very good, Bante.
Yeah, my son.
In my son once.
First time learning about her?
No, son.
For me, yes, Bante.
I've
Yeah.
heard the story before, son. Answer.
A beautiful story about courage, determination. Did her old age prevent her from achieving enlightenment?
No, son. Answer.
No son once.
Okay, so now is the time for all of you to ask any questions about any Dhamma things, anything you want to ask. Rohan Kitibante will answer your questions. Senila is going to ask a question.
Yes, Bante. I have a question about when she was the name Sona. What does it mean? She was also called Sona with many children. Why was that the name?
Yeah, Rohan Kitibante will answer you.
I didn't hear properly. Like he said about children. I heard about saying many children.
What does the name Sona mean? She said Sona with many children. What does the Sona mean?
Sona. Saminas, he's asking the reason for the name Sanas.
Yeah, it's because she had many children. That's how others called her. The mother Sona with many children. We don't know specific meaning of Sona, but because as a mother in the lay life, she had many children. And so she was known as Sona, the mother Sona with many children. Anjali has a question.
I'm sorry. I think with your permission, can I say something about Sona?
Sorry, we can't hear you clearly.
This is Ranga here, Bante. Can you hear me? Yeah. With your permission, I will. In India, the meaning of Sona is gold. That is
good? You mean good?
Gold. Gold.
Gold. Oh, Sona. So Suvarna, right?
Yeah. Sona is
Suvarna. Gold. Okay.
Gold. Yeah. Thank you, Bante.
Good.
Thanks for the opportunity, Bante.
Anjali, you can ask your question.
My question was about the before the nun, the young nun who was more senior to Sona prior, Arhan Sona before. She had blamed Arhan Sona. So what happens? Like did she get demerits in that situation, or what happened in that case? One says.
Karma of that senior monks who punished the nun Sona.
Well, from various stories we have learned, like when it comes to like Arahant Lakunta Badya. So Arahant, when it comes to Arahant Lakunta Badya, he was very short. That monk was very short. So the other monks used to like play with his ears, pull his nose. So that is actually a bad karma. Buddha actually he did not recommend doing those things, and Buddha, I don't get the proper word, Buddha accused, and Buddha said not to do such things, and the other monks apologized, asked for forgiveness. And but in this case, Sona, like senior monks, they will correct us. Now, even in the Theravada, we have heard that wise monks, strong advice or a rough advice is much better than getting praised by a foolish person. So we have heard that from Arahants. So in this case, a senior monk is correcting her. Well, after becoming Arahant, she corrected that nun. So we don't know what kind of a thought that senior nun would have had, whether it was with a hateful mind or whether she want to correct Arahant's Sona theory. So, but anyway, we realized one thing from the story. After the other nuns, they got to know that Sona has become an Arahant. They immediately, without hiding their mistake or without trying to give any, what do you call it, like without trying to justify their actions, they immediately went to the Buddha. The other nuns, they took Sona and they also went to the Buddha, and they reported to the Buddha about their problem. And they said that Sona is an Arahant now, Arahant theory. So afterwards, they apologized, and then Buddha knows about it. So then even if they have accumulated a karma, a bad karma, that will not stop or be an obstacle for attaining Nibbana. So if there would have been an obstacle, Buddha would have said it right on that on the spot. And one more thing, Buddha has said, even if there is a monk who is maybe Arahant, could be 10-year-old. There could be a monk who would become an Arahant at the age of 10 years. But then there could be a monk who is 50 years old, but not yet an Arahant. Yet that junior monk who is an Arahant should worship the senior monk. So there are cases like that. So this Dhamma belongs to the Buddha, and the the accumulation of karma. Anyway, if you do something with a hateful mind, if you speak, if you act, if you think with a hateful mind or based on unwholesome root, you're accumulating a karma. You're accumulating a bad karma. There's no doubt in that. Savinas can add something for that, Sanas.
Yeah, no, it's perfect answer, and I think Anjali got a clarification. And also, what I understood from your explanation was that even though Arahant Sona Theri was newly ordained and also an Arahant, she would still worship the other senior monks who are not yet Arahants, right?
Amen.
So that's a tradition in the seniority. Always the senior monks and nuns are worshipped by the junior monks and nuns. With the higher ordination, what matters in that case, in terms of worshipping and helping, supporting in many ways. And the other thing is we have to be very careful with interacting with others, right? We don't know which stage their understanding or realization is. So we have to be very careful because if the other person is advanced in good qualities, noble qualities, virtue, concentration, wisdom, and the way we interact with that person definitely is going to make different types of karma for our life. Dinara has a question.
Hey, my turn to answer. Like, what type of karma did Sona do to at first lose her children, like in such a way, and then suddenly become an arhat?
That we have to do some research. We have to read more and find about it. You know, Ronagitibante, do you remember any previous life stories? Not
I don't know.
Not at present. Right?
Anyway, we can see that anyway when people get old, they get less attention from children. When people get old, the attention from children are very less. That is a normal nature in the world.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Bante, Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Bante, this morning we listened when the Bante explained the sutta. They come up to the one story. They said that a person carry the baby for 7 years. So I try to Google and I find out information, but I don't know this information is really correct or not. They said that Rahula, the Buddha's son, he was carried in his mother's womb for 7 years. Some other articles say it's not Rahula, it's Siwali. So my question, what can Bante explain to us what is the story about Rahula regarding about the information that 7 years in the mother's womb? It is the true story. Can we find it in any sutta or maybe this story from Mahayana Buddhism or not in Theravada? I just want to know better about this. Thank you, Bante.
Yeah, Ronagitibante, please answer.
In my sense, I think first we should correct. I think Rahula, that was our Bodhisattva's son, but he was not conceived and he did not live in a womb for 7 years, right, Savinas?
Yeah,
So
it's
in
the
first
Prince
place,
Evely.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Prince
Prince Evely. Prince Evely, he was, I think, 7 years, 7 months, 7 days, I think. So 7 years, 7 months, 7 days. That is because in a past life, I think, because in that case, the mother also struggled a lot. The mother suffered a lot, carrying a baby for more than 7 years. So the problem was this was a karma done together with the mother and son together in a past life. The mother advised the son to in a battle, uh, when they were fighting against when they had a battle with another kingdom. So the mother advised the son to fight in a way and then block some people without food and water for a particular time period. And then as a result, the mother and son were stuck almost 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days. And I remember another story to add this to this story. There was a group of monks. A group of monks were coming to meet the Buddha, I think after the rains retreat, and they were resting in a cave. When the monks were resting in a cave, all of a sudden a big rock came from the top of the mountain and then blocked the cave. So the monks inside the cave could not come out for almost 7 days, I think. But after 7 days, the cave was open automatically. The huge rock was fallen away, was moved away. And then these monks were fainted and people came and gave food and water. So finally the monks came to the Buddha. They went to the Buddha and said, "Blessed One." So when they go to the Buddha, usually the Buddha asks their well-being and how they came their long journey. Then the monk said, "Blessed One, it was a very terrible journey. We experienced a lot of difficulties and we were blocked for almost 7 days." Then the Buddha said, "Dear because this was a mistake done by all of y'all together with y'all in a past life." So in that life, they became monks altogether. They were a group of monks. But in a past life, they were friends. When they were uh, lay people, like in a past life, when they were normal, ordinary people who's not practicing the Buddha's teachings. They were very playful people in a past life, very playful. So one day they saw a iguana and then they chased after the iguana and the iguana went inside a hole and then they thought they covered the hole. After the iguana went inside the hole, they covered the hole and they thought we'll come later and then we'll kill the iguana. Then after 7 days or 6 days, they remembered that, oh, we blocked the iguana. We covered the iguana's hole. And then they came again and they opened the hole and then they found the iguana was still alive but fainted. So then after seeing the iguana, they thought they pitied the iguana and they felt like they did not feel like killing the iguana and they took out the iguana and they let the iguana to go away. So in that case, they blocked the iguana and they suffered like that in many lives, not once. In many lives they were suffering a lot. So that is another similar story for blocking and caging people and caging other living beings unnecessarily. So now in this case, now don't ask questions like what happens when we put fish in tanks and then when we put dogs in kennels, what will happen to you all? So
Yeah, Aina, if you like to read more about the real story about the baby who was stuck in the mother's womb for 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days. It is actually from the Pali Canon. It's from the original discourses of the Buddha, and this is where you can read about it. This is this is in the Khuddaka Nikaya, Udana, and the discourse about Suppavasa. Aina, can you?
Yes, Bante.
Yeah, this is about that. This is that sutta. You can read or everything about that story here, and you can see here. Then at that time, Koli and Lady Suppavasa was with child for 7 years and 7 days, and it was lost in the womb and couldn't be delivered. And finally, with the help of the Buddha, with the blessings of the Buddha, she gave birth to that baby. And that's a beautiful sutta you can read in the Udana.
Yeah. Anumodana Bante, thank you.
Good.
Where is my
Do you know how to find this sutta?
Yes, Bante.
Yeah.
In the sutta.
For those who don't know how to find this sutta, just follow me. You go to Sutta Central and you go to you go here, you go to Sutta, and you go to Minor, you go to Khuddaka Nikaya, and you go to Udana, and you go to the second chapter, Muchalinda Vagga. Is that clear?
Yes, Bante.
And then you click on Muchalinda Vagga, and you scroll down, go until you find that Suppavasa name. And you see here, Udana 2.8, the discourse about Suppavasa, and you click here, you can read the sutta. That's a very rare incident which happened in the history, and because of the compassion and the blessings of the Buddha, the mother was fine and she was healthy. She was a lay disciple of the Buddha, and the baby was delivered safely, and baby was very healthy, and he started associating with monks at his early age, and he also became a monk and became very famous Sivali Bante, and he became Arahant Sivali Thero. A very fortunate family.
Avasarai Swaminathan, I remember there is, I think, another Dhamma advice given by the Buddha. I think when Arahant Sivali, after he was born, he spoke to the Arahants, I think to Arahant Sariputta and Arahant Moggallana. And then I think Suppavasa was very happy about it. And then I think the Buddha or Arahant Sariputta asked whether you like to have many babies like this. Then she said, well, I like to have many babies like this. Then I think, if I'm not mistaken, like Buddha said, some pleasant people come in an unpleasant way, and some unpleasant people come in a pleasant way. Am I correct?
Yeah. So it is the same sutta.
Yeah. The disagreeable in an agreeable form and unlovely in a lovely form. So this is a major problem in the society today.
Yeah, because if you can read here, we can learn about this. Can somebody read?
Namadaya Bante, can I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How this sentence?
Let me find it. Okay, from here.
Then the Kolian lady Suppavasa for 7 days with her own hands served as and satisfied the community of monks, with the Buddha at its head with excellent comestibles and edibles. Then she made the little boy worship the Buddha and the whole community of monks.
So when this happened, when after he was born, and now a little boy worshipping the Buddha and the Sangha. Yes. Somebody else is going to read?
Sanse, I could read.
Okay.
Then Venerable Sariputta said this to that little boy. Can you bear up, little boy? Can you carry on? Do you have any pain? How, Reverend Sariputta, can I bear up? How can I carry on? For 7 years I have been living in a bloodbath. Then it occurred to the Kolian leader Suppavasa, my son is consulting with the general of the Dhamma, and she became elated, gladdened, joyful, and happy. Then the gracious one, after seeing that the Kolian lady Suppavasa was elated, gladdened, joyful, and happy, said this to the Kolian lady Suppavasa.
So Kolian lady Suppavasa means the mother of the boy, okay? And the gracious one means the Buddha, the blessed one. So blessed one is asking the boy's mother.
Suppavasa, do you long for another such son? Gracious one, I long for another 7 such sons. Then the gracious one, having understood the significance of it, on that occasion uttered this exultant utterance. The disagreeable in an agreeable form, the unlovely in a lovely form, the painful in the form of pleasure, overcome the heedless one.
Sorry. That's the powerful teaching from the Buddha, right? Because the mother suffered in an unexplainable way for 7 years. Mother suffered immensely with the baby stuck in her womb. But now she wants to have more babies like that. She completely forgot the pain, suffering, misery. She forgot. And she wants to have more babies. And then Buddha realized, oh, this is how this ignorant mind longs for more and more agreeable things, but in return, lots of pain and suffering will come. That's the meaning of the stanza, and Buddha taught the Dhamma with that small stanza, the disagreeable thing. That means sad things, painful things come to our life in an agreeable shape, agreeable form. That means in a happy shape. They come to us. So we think these are happy things and we try to embrace them. And finally, we understand that we have failed. The unlovely in a lovely form. Unlovely things come to our lives in a lovely shape, lovely form. Again, we are deluded. We are cheated. The painful things come to our life as pleasurable things, happy things. That's what happening normally in our life. So they overcome the heedless one, the ignorant one, the ordinary one. And I think because she was already a stream enterer, as soon as a Kalyanamitta, the Buddha, the monks, teaches her the Dhamma, she quickly gains her senses, comes into the senses and regains her mindfulness. And she didn't want to have any more sons or daughters because she knew the pain and she didn't want to continue with that pain. Very good. So that's from Udana. And that's just the last part of the sutta, and it's a beautiful sutta. You can learn about how that mother endured the pain, recollecting the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And she was always thinking about the Buddha and blessing her son, and also contemplating the impermanent suffering, non-self nature of all the conditioned things, because that pain was unbearable. But she was contemplating on the suffering, noble truth of suffering, and she was following the Dhamma path with that understanding. I think Jit Hua was waiting to ask a question.
Namo Buddhaya Bante.
Namo
This
Buddhaya.
is Ali. My question is there an age limit for non-ordination in Mahamenawa, Sri Lanka, the Anagarika? Or because as I know that a lot of monastery is having an age limit for non-ordination. They don't all female, I guess.
Better to contact the Anagarika directly, right? And ask about it. We don't know because we don't know much about how things work there.
Okay. Because my question is, a lot of time that like me, I'm aging, so like getting elder, more, so we're finding a place for, like meditation or for peaceful mind.
There are lots of places in Sri Lanka, I guess. Well, not lots, but at least few, right?
Okay.
Maybe Rona Kitibante knows better because he's always in Sri Lanka.
Yes, she can call the nuns monastery and ask, and you can let them know like uh, your requirements and what you wish to do. And there are very kind nuns who will guide you properly, and they would let you know like how they could help you. So you can find the number from the main from the website, from the Mahamuna main website, and then contact them.
Okay, thank you, Bante.
Any other questions? Is the Virikitibante there?
So I'm not saying he was here, but I think he went offline, so I'll try to contact him.
Oh, okay.
Savinas, I have a question, Savinas. Now,
oh, you are here
even
to
in
answer
Sri
the
Lanka-
questions.
No, it's because of on behalf of the children. Now in Sri Lanka, when I spoke to a couple of children who work close to the monastery and do all the volunteer work and the other things. So when I asked them like when your parents come to your room when you're doing some work, and when you are seated in the normal living area, if your mother or father comes to you, whether they stand and respect the mother and father. So all of them, one person they told me like if there's no chair, they'll offer the chair, they'll offer a seat. But if they're in the room, none of them they told me that they would stand and give a seat to the mother or to the father. So like they are like Buddha said, they are first teachers, and in the mundane Sammaditi, Buddha has said that before we realize the Four Noble Truths, the first 10 qualities are like believing this world, believing there's a life after death, believing in other worlds, and then there are results of making offerings, there are results of doing services, and then there's a special person called mother, and there's a special person called father. And if someone, so those are the main mundane qualities. And then on the other hand, Buddha has said if someone kills Arahant, he goes to the hell for a yawn. And if someone sheds the Buddha's blood with an unpleasant mind, he goes to hell for a yawn. And if someone kills the mother and father, they go to the hell for a yawn. And if someone separate the Sangha, the harmony of the Sangha, they will also go to hell for a yawn. So considering these factors, Bante, if the children, when their parents, the mother and father, who really prepared meals more than for 20 years for them, and until the children die, the mother and father who are concerned about the children, when a mother and father comes to their room, or when they are seated, like if they really neglect and just talk to the parents, what do you think about it, Swaminathan?
Our like junior monks never do that. That for sure we know on a daily basis. All the junior monks, they stand up from their seats when they see senior Bhantes. And yeah, that's a very good thing that we are very happy as monks that we have been taught to do that. And the most compassionate one, the Blessed One, has fully understood the karma and the lots of benefits that we can gain when we raise up, when we see senior Bhantes, when we see our teacher, senior Bhantes, we always stand up, and we do that very happily because we know that it's a powerful good karma for our lives. So I think children are missing a powerful good karma Because if we feel that we are making powerful good karma when we stand up, when senior monks are approaching, it's the same thing that if kids stand up when parents are approaching, they can make powerful good karma. So if they don't do that, that means they are missing a powerful good karma. Because as you mentioned, the Buddha teaches parents are our first teachers, right?
And like they are first teachers, and they are like, and like we are like living with Brahmas, like
Yeah,
we are respecting
like
mother and father.
So that's a very good thing, because you pointed out the first teachers. So when we go to school, normally in Sri Lanka, I don't know about here, it's always obvious that we would stand up when teachers are approaching, right, to our classroom. It's because they are our teachers. So if Buddha said our first teachers are parents, our mother and father, then we should definitely stand up when we are seated, right? Did you
And
get that? In our classrooms, when teachers are approaching, we definitely stand up. And we greet our teacher first, and then we sit down, because they are teachers. And Buddha teaches your first teachers are at home. That's your mother and father.
And Sanasa, one more amazing thing I realized in a monk life. So because Buddha introduced this monk life, so it's so amazing. Like Swaminatha told me that Swaminatha just said that when a senior monk approaches, the junior monk stands. More than that, the most amazing thing that I have seen among monks is, imagine a junior monk and a senior monk is seated and having a discussion. If the senior monk stands, the junior monk also stands, Swaminatha. Like imagine they're having a cup of tea, and then the junior monk finishes the tea, and then he leaves away. Then immediately the junior monk also will stand and talk with the senior monk. So it's so blessed that a monk life is so blessed, and Buddha has given us an amazing gift to practice so much qualities as a monk, so that no one will laugh at you, like no one will stop you. Like a monk life is like open for Nibbana, and like it's a place for good qualities. It's a life that is open for good qualities.
Especially as pupils of our teacher Logu Swami Nwanse, we have an amazing opportunity to cultivate these qualities, wholesome qualities, and that is unbelievable, right?
Amen.
We feel like we are living in a different realm. It's good that we were not in that right, ordinary kind of world, because then they will feel awkward, and but when if a senior monk is standing and the junior monk is sitting, then in our community that would feel awkward. Right?
Yeah, and so once a Japanese boy came to Polgavale main monastery, a Japanese boy, just for 3 days, 3 or 4 days, and we trained him through the Buddha's teachings to chant, to meditate. He was a very calm person. Even Lokusami also spoke to him. And then he was trained to bow down and keep the knees on the floor and worship the Sangha. Then I asked him, well, if you go to Japan, will you worship your mother and father in the same way? Then he told me, oh, Bhante, no, they will think that I'm mad. They will think that
that means we have to live in a culture or in an environment where the noble qualities are praised and are well understood, and the karma, the knowledge of karma is always present. So we have to live in. That's why Buddha said, "Patirupa desavasocha etam mangalam uttama." Living in a suitable locality, in an environment, so we have opportunities to follow the Dhamma is a blessing for our life, right?
Amen. So in Mahamangala Sutta, Buddha has said,
we should not miss opportunities to make good karma right there at our home.
Amen. Now, in terms of Sangha, Like Sangha will be there, like even if one monk dies, another monk will remain. But then like when it comes to like mother and father, after they die, no more mother and father.
Mhm. Unfortunately, they don't get this kind of support from the environment they are living in most of the cases. But at least by joining to these Dhamma programs, you get to learn what really a life of a follower is, follower of the Buddha, and how people should live according to that knowledge of karma. What do you think, kids?
Oh, sorry, answers. Following what Bante Rohana Kitty has just talked about, that Japanese voice, actually, in my culture too, I think it's a tradition that you only bow to an elderly person when they have already passed away. So I think part of it is more cultural, Bante.
Not when they are alive.
No, when they are alive, if you bow to them and you worship them, then they'll think like Bante Rohana Kitty said, like, are you mad? Like, are you crazy? Why do you worship me? I'm still alive. You know, but I'm fortunate because then I have got opportunity to worship both of my parents, and they understood, with, after I learned.
We should worship when they are alive, and we should when they are dead.
Yeah, but not in my culture. Like, no.
Yeah, we should follow the good karma culture.
Yes, Bante, of course.
It's not Sri Lankan, it's not Canadian, it's not Asian, it's not Asian, it's the good karma culture. If you like to make good karma, then we should, right? You agree, Kronagiti Bante?
Yes.
It's good karma culture, right?
Yes, honestly, like we are so blessed, like to be like born in a suitable place and meeting a good teacher. Like sometimes,
And Buddha knew very clearly the result of that karma. If we respect the people who are worthy of respect by standing up for them, by giving chair for them to sit on, by worshipping them, you know the result. The result is that they make powerful good karma, which will result in higher rebirth in a respected families, and as humans or as gods and goddesses, wherever you are reborn, others will respect you, others will listen to you, others will follow your instructions, and that good karma will all the way help you to until you attain nibbana.
And then for the Sangha, Buddha has said Sangha is Ahuneya, Pahuneya, Ahuneya, Pahuneya, Dakineya, Anjali Karaniya. So that means Sangha is worthy to receive food that is brought far away. And when they come as a visitor to your house, you can offer food and you can worship and gain merit. In the same way, even the mother and father is also Ahuneya, Pahuneya, right, Swaminathan?
Yeah, Buddha explained those qualities, applying them to the mother and father's life as well. Did you know that, kids? Ahuneya, the parents are also Ahuneya. They are worthy of offerings. So the kids should go from far away with gifts to take care of their parents, to look after them, to offer them the gifts. Ahuneya. That's also a quality of the parents, right? Ahuneya Puttana.
Yeah, so I think just like you spend time like going jogging for like hours, then spend time in like or building muscles. So just standing to your mother and father when they come raising from your chair wouldn't be a big problem.
That's not a problem. That's a solution to stop the cycle of rebirth.
It's a solution to stop the cycle of rebirth.
Yeah, it's making good karma, right?
Any more questions?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Like regarding solutions, we think problems.
Problems.
Regarding problems, we think solutions. Has turned upside down. Any other questions? Yeah, I think we are so grateful for these teachings about karma. The Buddha sacrificed many things to attain this knowledge. We are so grateful, and otherwise we wouldn't know how karma works, and we will keep missing lots of opportunities if Buddha didn't teach us. Fortunately, we have that Dhamma today, and we have the opportunities to make powerful good karma in our lives. And I'm very happy when I think how I lived the lay life, because I usually visited my relatives very often when I was a lay person. From my childhood until my young age, I visited my relatives. I would go to different villages, like maybe once a month. And whenever I go there, I would worship everybody in that family who are elder than me. Aunties, uncles, elder brothers, elder sisters. I don't know how I learned it. I don't know, but when I learned the Dhamma now, it brings so much rapture and happiness to me. Like I feel like I did the right thing, and every time when I was worshiping them, my grandmothers, grandfathers, and aunties, uncles, and they sometimes they shed tears, and they were blessing me every time when I was worshiping, because it was very unusual. Like even their sons and daughters wouldn't do that.
Unapologetic.
Yeah, but it was not a wrong thing to do. If you can do that, because later you will learn that many of those relatives have actually helped you immensely when you were a baby. Sometimes your aunties, uncles, and those relatives have helped you, and you don't even know about how they helped. But we should be grateful to all those relatives. Very good. Any other questions?
I had a question. So when we go to, so if we practice Dhamma well here in this life, and we go to the heavenly world, but the Supreme Buddha mentioned that somebody will come and remind us how we collected merit in the previous life, and we'll continue practicing the Dhamma in the heavenly world. But is there a chance that that there's an exception or anything like that? Like if we go to the heavenly world, will we forget anything, or will we not practice the Dhamma? Is there a possibility for that to happen?
Bhante, can you please?
There is a danger. We have to accept that, and that if you go to heaven without a real assurance from human world before you depart, you will caught up with the divine pleasures there, and you will be negligent. Yes, there is a danger, but how to minimize or overcome that danger is to develop 5 qualities. The faith or confidence in the enlightenment of the Buddha, practicing precepts, virtue, gaining the Dhamma knowledge, practicing generosity, volunteering, and trying to understand the Four Noble Truths, wisdom. So if
Amen.
a god or goddess is reborn in heaven after departing from human world, if they are reborn as gods or goddess with these five, possessing these five qualities, Shraddha, Sila, Sutta, Chaga, Panya, that is the assurance that you will not go astray, and you will be very well protected there. You will always join with the Kalyana Mittas there, and you will go to the assemblies where people listen to the Dhamma from higher gods. Every 4 day there will be a Dhamma discussion, Dhamma sermon in heaven, and surely you will join those programs. You will start listening to the Dhamma again, practicing the Dhamma again. If you go to heaven with these 5 qualities, what are they?
That's faith in the Buddha, virtue, knowledge of the Dhamma, generosity, and the like the wisdom, or the practicing like the Four Noble Truths.
Correct. Okay, Minupa, did you get the answer?
Sounds many merits.
Yeah, good. That's what Buddha taught about the real assurance after death. Because there are some gods and goddesses in heaven, they are actually not interested in the teachings of the Buddha. It's like you are going to a hotel with some money and you only eat and drink, and you don't know the money is over and you come out empty-handed, or you have to do dishes in the kitchen. Like that, some gods and goddesses are reborn in heaven, not with those 5 qualities, but because they made merit with the ordinary worldly right view when they were in the human world. As a result, they were reborn in heaven, but they did not possess those 5 qualities. So they will enjoy the divine pleasures there, and eventually their lifespan will come to an end, and they will be reborn in the lower realms, in hell, animal world, ghost world, and such lower realms. That's dangerous.
Okay, Bhante, many merits to the explanation.
Good.
Oh, sorry, Bhante. If there's no more question, we don't mind to, if Bhante Rohanakiti don't mind, share his journey, how, before he became a Bhante, and maybe that can become some inspiration for our young.
No, then you will decline in politics if you hear that. Better to ask after my monk life.
Yeah, do we have any other questions?
Bhante, I will ask one question, Bhante. Sorry. Bhante, from time to time, I experience these unwholesome thoughts come into my mind, Bhante. But it's totally does not have anything to do with this life or whatsoever, but it's just come like that from time to time. So I'm just wondering if that's something that is not my will, like I don't will that, but that unwholesome thoughts just came like that. Would it?
Yeah, we know what you mean. Like people ask the same question, like ask Lokaswan say the same question. So we remember how Lokaswan has answered. So we share the same answer with you. And it's not only Linda's question. It's we all experience it from time to time, and we feel very unusual, and we think that this is not who we are. This is not who I am. This is very unusual, and I don't know what is going on in my mind, right? We feel very like kind of a strange things going on. At that time, because of the complexity of this world, the visible world, invisible world. We are a very small entity in this very complicated, complex world. We are living among so many types of beings, different influences coming from visible and invisible world. So one of the solution, or one of the the procedures to follow in those cases is that Loksan asks us to, as soon as we recognize that something unusual is happening, like kind of unusual lust, unusual hatred, or unusual emotions like that, if you recognize them as soon as possible, you should offer your life in the name of the Buddha. You should offer your life to the Buddha, thinking or saying, I offer my life to the Buddha, I offer my life to the Dhamma, I offer my life to the Sangha.
Right.
Okay. Remember that instruction from Lokaswami Maharaj, and lots of people have benefited from doing that and have overcome lots of those kind of strange happenings in life. Or if you have a stupa around you or a bodhi tree, you also can go to the stupa and offer your life to the stupa. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. We know very little. We don't know lots of things in our life. So we need help from our teachers, Kalyanamitas, Bhantes. We have to live like one kind of one family. We have to share good things together. We have to help each other. It's like we should live like deers in a herd. We should live together, helping each other, answering others' questions, sharing Dhamma with each other. It's a very complicated and risky living, especially in this time period where there is no Buddha. Yeah, it's a completely different story.
Thank you, Bhante.
Because when Buddha was alive, Buddha defeated the most powerful evil influence in the world. After Buddha passed away, that most powerful evil influence has come into effect and governing everything, handling everything. So we have to understand this. We should not take this for granted. Any other questions?
Yeah, Bhante, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please explain the significance of the stupa, the benefits of worshipping, and how it all started? Can you please explain, Bhante? Thank you.
Mm-hmm. For that, I think you can invite one page to do that as a Dhamma talk in a separate day. We can learn a lot about the benefits of worshipping stupas, Buddha's instructions. For now, you can read Mahaparinibbana Sutta. There you will see the direct words from the Buddha about the benefits of worshipping stupas and Buddha's guidance, how to build stupas and how to place relics inside the stupas, and what are the things we should offer to a stupa. You can learn a lot by reading the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, and often it's translated as the final days of the Buddha, Mahaparinibbana Sutta. Also, you can read some stories from the Vimanavattu, Khuddaka Nikaya, Vimanavattu, stories of heavenly mansions. You can go to suttafriends.org and start reading Vimanavattu, and you will come across some of the stories where gods and goddesses explain how they escaped from bad worlds and took rebirth in heaven. It's because they worship the stupas of the Buddha. Mm-hmm.
Sadhu Bhante. Yeah, many merits.
in 10 minutes, you will have a break, and then after the 15 minutes break, you will have a Vipassana meditation session. So before that, we still have a few minutes left if you have any final questions. Yeah, I see people are coming to worship this stupa because today is Sunday. We have bookings for the stupa, worshipping stupa. Every Sunday we have people coming here, and they are worshipping the stupa, walking around with joined palms, offering flowers, sweet incense. And we sometimes, it's a very rare opportunity that we have a stupa here. Sometimes we feel sad because they cannot stay there and chant parito or worship because it's really cold out there. I think Rohan Kitibante doesn't have any idea what we are talking about. It's winter here.
Imagine.
Snow everywhere. So we cannot stay around the stupa for a long time, but people really like to stay. So we try to help them, yeah.
I was hearing someone else. Oh, sorry, Bante. Is there anything Bante actually wanted to say first?
No.
What's my question? So actually, speaking of stupas, Bante, so many of us got the opportunity to help build a stupa at the Toronto Asapua. So, what are the benefits or the the results that we can experience by building a stupa?
Nibbana, end of suffering. It directly supports attaining Nibbana. If you read the lives of Arahant monks and nuns after attaining enlightenment, they direct their mind to see the past lives, and they wanted to know which merit led them to attain Nibbana. And in some cases, some Arahants realized that it was the good karma of helping to construct a stupa or worshipping a stupa or protecting a stupa. Yeah, that they would find that was the powerful good karma which led him to attain Nibbana. So basically, the result of good karma of helping build the stupa is attaining Nibbana.
Are there any other results before attaining Nibbana?
Yeah, there are so many other benefits. I have read somewhere, I don't remember. All the other, whatever happiness you like can be gained. Like a beautiful body, handsome body, good health, wealth, friends. I have read it somewhere, a list of results. Right, Rohan Kitibante, I think I have read it. You also have, maybe you also have read it. The benefits of cleaning around the compound of the stupa, repairing a stupa, right?
But the repairing stupas, I have heard it helps us to have long lifespan, like repairing stupas.
See?
Repairing
Yeah,
stupas.
I remember learning something like that, yeah. Yeah.
Repairing
It's
stupas.
a kind of yeah, how do you call it? Stupa is something like that. It gives you everything you like. That's why Buddha highly praised constructing stupas, placing relics in it, offering flowers, sweet incense, sweet powder to the stupa, repairing stupas, cleaning around the stupas. Buddha highly praised because Buddha knew very clearly that it can give you everything. It can give you heavenly rebirth. It can give you the association of Kalyana Mittas. It can secure your Dhamma path, and it can give you the stages of enlightenment. Yeah, it was the Buddha who knew perfectly about the importance of stupas. That's why in India, with the guidance of the Arahants, Moggaliputta Tissa Thero, the great emperor Ashoka, he built 80,000 stupas all around India. If you go today to after 2,500 years, you can still see the ruins of those stupas built by King Ashoka. It was his compassion, and with the guidance of Arahants, it's Arahants' compassion to give the Indians at that time who lived around to make powerful good karma and to go to heaven and attain stages of enlightenment. We don't know how many people escape from bad worlds by worshipping those stupas in India. And also same thing happened when the son of Emperor Ashoka, Arahant Mahinda Thero, arrived in Sri Lanka under the guidance of Arahant Mahinda Thero. Our kings in Sri Lanka, ancient kings, started building stupas all over the island. If you go now, you will see stupas everywhere. Some stupas have been restored. Some there are ruins, some places, but it's like the whole island, Sri Lanka. Is if you can send a drone up in the sky, you will see you are not seeing the houses. Everywhere you are seeing the stupas in Sri Lanka. Like white bubbles, shining bubbles you will see. It was in India, it was more than that. It was more than that. And I read that book written by the Chinese monk who visited India, Hung Xiang, I think Hung Xiang's journey to India. And he explains like within very short distances, he noticed the stupas in India. So India was also, the land was filled with stupas before the invasion of the Muslim invasions and other invasions. It was filled with stupas. Why is that? Because those arahants believed in the word of the Buddha about the benefits of worshipping a stupa, constructing a stupa, protecting a stupa, repairing a stupa. The arahants believed in that knowledge of the Buddha. And those faithful kings, ministers, they believed in the word of the Buddha. That's how we were left with those so many stupas in India, Sri Lanka, and also in other places, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and in many other places, and also in Indonesia too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Myanmar, Burma, Thailand, everywhere you see stupas. Okay, I think now we have come to the conclusion. I think the discussion benefited all of us, for Bantes, for parents, kids, and everybody, right? We learned a lot, and Bantes are very happy because we were able to share the teachings of the Buddha with you. And Rohanakiti Bante, can you do the merit sharing before we leave?
Yes, so first of all, I would like to share merit with all the Devas. And so you have been observing 8 precepts today, and you have offered Buddha Puja at home and also lunch done, and then you have been meditating, and also by making a beautiful Vihara Mandir in Toronto Monastery. By all that merit, monks are preaching Dhamma to many countries, and by the power of that merit and by the merit gained by all of us by observing 8 precepts, may all the Devas rejoice in this merit, and may they help us to dispel this pandemic as soon as possible, and allow us to practice this Dhamma peacefully with happy minds. And may all the Devas protect all the monks, and may all the Devas realize the 4 noble truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may all the departed relatives of all of us rejoice in this merit. May they be well and happy. And May they enjoy good food, shelter, clothing, and all the needs, and may they escape from samsara as soon as possible. Sad, sad, sad. And also, may our teacher Loka Swaminathan and all the monks and nuns of Mahamena Buddhist Monastery, Jivananda Swaminathan and monks residing in Toronto and all the other monasteries in Canada, be well and happy, have long life, well-being, comfort, and may they have the energy to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And may all the devotees who took part in the SIL program, yet more to go today. So we just finished this half day of the SIL program. So until now, whatever the merits we have accumulated by take parting in this Dhamma program, may all of you all be well and happy, have long life, and may you practice the Buddha's teachings until your life lasts, and realize the Four Noble Truths, gain protection in divine worlds, and meet Kalyana Mithas until you attain Nibbana, and may you realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Nama Buddhaya. Boma Ping Swaminathan for inviting me for the Dhamma discussion, and
Sadhu,
many
sadhu.
for taking part.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.